Hey guys, welcome back. It's me again, and what I got here is a keep locked, or some people call it a KL or the keep. It is a puzzle by StickMan. You can see the front of it here, and I'll bring it up here into this one. It's a puzzle by StickMan, and it is a castle. Let's give you a perspective of size here. It's 7 inches by 7 inches by 7 inches, and it is a castle held down by 4 different locks. There's the StickMan logo. On the bottom, it's number 38 of 52, as marked by StickMan himself, handwritten. Who's StickMan? Why do I keep saying this guy's name? I'm sure everybody that's actually watching this video knows who the hell he is. But for any of those that might actually be learning about puzzles through me, his name's Robert Yarger, or Rob, he is a puzzle designer first most, I would say. So he is a creator that loves to create. So he's used as a consultant on a lot of big puzzle projects. He was part of the Apothecary Chest. He helped Jesse Bourne do the Sundial and possibly the Captain's Quest too. He likes creating the puzzles more than making them or solving them. His words. The interesting thing is that his work is a bit different from a lot of the other people out there that you can get puzzles from. He makes like really large puzzles, usually very involved, and they're also usually of a type of a genre. So they represent like a certain aspect of puzzling. I'll give an example of that when I'll show this in another one. And my first StickMan was the 35, the one-handed box. So when I came into puzzling in 2020, learned about him in I think 2021, he came out with the one-handed box. It was like this big, and it was just a packing puzzle that you could actually just take out and easily solve, but it had a limitation that you were only to use one hand. So you had to put it together one-handed into this box, and that's what made it really complex. It also used heavy magnets and had some mechanical action because of that, which was really interesting. We've touched on that a bit with the Jerry puzzles. You know how those work. So that would be a similar type of thing. In this puzzle here, the genre is locks, right? It's keep locked, right? But it is also a keep. So what you get here is this themed out puzzle that's pretty large, 7 inches tall, 7 inches across and around. And as you see here, it's got a portcullis, gates. It's got this lion's head here. Each of the steeples or the towers has a different wood in them. And after I had only done one-handed box, this is a while back now, I just thought he just wasn't really into woodwork. But I've since handled a few of his puzzles, and he's really great at woodwork. He's kind of like a Renaissance man. When you think about it, he's like good at a lot of different things and has a lot of different interests. So this here is made of jatoba, a walnut, I believe, and maple. And if I can get it up, I wonder what's a better place to show it here. Probably this one. But if you look at the sides, you can see that they've been scored externally. Yeah, try to get that on camera there or here. They're scored externally to resemble bricks all the way around on it. And then at the top, all of those are done individually as well. And the woods on the top here, like this is a walnut. There's a purple heart in here. Yeah, it's purple heart, yellow heart, and probably something. I don't know. I didn't really keep up with the woods on this one like other ones because there's a lot going on here. And probably a decent amount of steps. It's not that hard to reset. Talking about his puzzles in whole, what I meant by genres is like, I had another one of his called the Edelweiss, which is number 28. and it was like a pentagon or octagon type shape, and it was a box that had an engraved inset on each side, and then it came with pieces of a packing puzzle made by Walter Waite, and he's really good at those like fractal designs. So it had a way where if you solve the puzzle one way, it opened up one side of the puzzle. Solve it a different way to open up another way, and there was like another third solution, and like a cheat way, a way to cheat it that's intended. And so it was really like if you like tray packers and those like fractal design ones, then you'll really love this because it has that and also a puzzle box, because that's how you unlock the puzzle box. And it had two openings, and so he really goes out of his way to kind of like really nail down a genre with what he's doing. The only ones I've actually interacted with are 36, which is keep locked, 35, which is one-handed box, 34, which is the Dwemer construct, and 28. I almost got a hexagon one, which was 33, and they go all the way back. There's probably like a half a dozen that he's done that aren't numbered too. Almost all of them come with a booklet of some kind. I was told this one right here is the biggest booklet he's made. This is for the Dwemer construct. This was number 34. And then, but here, and then this one really set off people. I didn't get on the list. I wasn't, he usually has to do a lottery just to get you on a list. There's a lot of well-off people that are on his list, wanting him to make stuff. And he's like wanting to help other people make stuff at this point. So it's getting even like rarer, his puzzles are. Because it seems like he doesn't want to make them. Although that made me think that he wasn't into woodworking, but like as you can see here, his woodworking's great. The other piece is great too. On the one-handed box, he didn't finish the pieces, which made me think. But then I also was curious about the pieces too, because he used like layers of different woods and had them all doing different stuff, and worked out that part real precision-wise. So it's just his thing. He wants to consult. It's kind of like me. Like I'm solid at magic, and I could perform professionally all day. I just don't enjoy performing. I'd rather create. But this thing is took a lot to work through. There's 4 different locks here. Just comparing it to like another piece. This one's a bit bigger. I don't know what that is. Must be the wood. And then no, this one's a Dwemer construct. This one is like a bunch of mechanisms hooked together on the top here under this, cage. And the goal is to figure out how to unlock the box. Go work your way through all this stuff to remove all this from the box. The genre of this one, though, he was inspired by Elder Scrolls, which is interesting. The Dwemer is there. That's why it's called a Dwemer construct. But I guess the whole theme of this one is to be a puzzle designer like him. And so I have designed puzzles. I am into the whole building and breaking down and building up aspect, which this is a lot of. So the goal with this is to tear it completely apart. There's like 50 some odd pieces, tools, and everything at that point. And then you rebuild it into a different puzzle. So it'll be like this, and it'll probably have the same type of way of locking itself down, but the mechanisms and everything connected will be different. And then once you've made the 2, you'll notice that there are pieces that have been cut with notches and grooves and things like that that imply another whole build that he never finished. He said funding ran out. So I imagine, he had a set limit on what he was going to be able to put into making these, and then stopped. The weird thing, though, is when you go on his website, he has PDFs for all the puzzles. And they usually have like the number of moves, the piece count, the year spans that it was made, what it cost, all that. And he doesn't for this one. So maybe it's like a TBD, to be determined. There was a bunch of these, though. So there was only 52 of these, and I think there were 60 of these. This one was also about $50 more than that one, about 3 years before it. So kind of gives you a sense of his scale, making these big puzzle boxes. Let's get into Keep Locked here. As you all know, I don't normally solve In my videos, I just show you the solution because I have it all memorized and perfected. That's not the case with this one. Honestly, I solved most of this a while ago. I got kind of distracted by life. All right. Now, when you first pick this up and look at it, you'll be tempted to probably want to mess with the locks right away. But what's not immediately present, because you can see down inside of it and everything, is that the puzzle here is more than just the locks. So like any good puzzle, you want to kind of take in everything. So here, where the lion's head is, you can notice right away that it moves, which obviously is going to make you want to pull a little bit, and you'll see that it just starts coming right out. So that's one of the first things you can do. When you pull it out, you'll also be looking here, and you'll notice there's a moon here, and way up here, you might not be able to see, there it is, a sun. This doesn't slide up when you try. I wouldn't use your fingernails. You don't need it. Let's see here. There is a StickMan logo on the back here. You can try to like make it do things. It does tip out, the old puzzle move where, you know, a concave side. Can't really get my fingers on it yet though. So maybe there's more to do there. Oh no, it came right out. There we go. And this has the StickMan logo, and it's just a piece. But what it does reveal is right here, there's an inset, and it looks like you can put something in there. Not necessarily this. It looks too big. But maybe, you know, the dot's useful. Actually, no, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend I don't. And then let's start messing with the locks. So this lock really draws your attention first because it's made of purple heart. And then it also has a like a sapel, I think, here on the corners. And it's got a StickMan branded, oh, I'm off camera, sorry. It has a StickMan branded knob on it. And you can turn it and nothing really happens though. You can pull on this. What you'll notice is this thing just pops off. It's a magnet. This is a tool. So far we've got a lion's head poker deal kind of tool. We've got a beach chip. And then we've got this purple heart and maple knob. And then you got a lock here with nothing on it. Now this lock, if you slide it like that, you'll see I need to move my face. It seems silly now that I'm realizing that I'm blocking my own hands. And as you'll see, it pops out the side here. It can slide. So with that knowledge, you can actually pull down now and back in, and this thing will slide all the way up. Now you can see the groove piece. Like that's just it. That's all it was to get that lock off. You want to feel the shackles and make sure you're not missing anything. There could be pieces in here hidden. And then the lock itself, if you want to dig around inside of it, you know, looking for more or something, go for it. But I don't believe there's anything else this lock does. It's a cool mechanism. It's kind of like a body in a body that has like a little maze. And once you learn the path, it also makes you think that it's not going to do what it does because this piece here moves and this one isn't going in or anything. That's because it doesn't go all the way across. So that's one lock. Now we have a lock here made of lace wood and yellow heart here. And yeah, a bit of Jatoba on the sides. And this one actually is the most complicated lock. So we'll save that one. Here's a lacewood lock with maple. And I think that's it. Maybe some sapel. It's got a face that wants to slide a little bit. If you look around on it, like the top here doesn't really move. But this top moves. Kind of like a magnetic springy switch. So you push on it. You can actually slide this around like that. When you get it out of the way, there's sliding side here. What that's telling you there is that the piece here with the sliding bit goes in on the right there, just so you don't forget when you're reassembling. I guess maybe if you don't know that, you could lock this thing up or make it like, I think in the notes it says that if you do put it in wrong, that you have to take an external tool then to take it back apart. So here we go. Here's the lace wood lock. This one's interesting because it has a springy mechanism in it. with the magnet, which pushes this out of the way to let this out, which is bracing this piece in. And then that also allows this to swing. So that's 2 locks down. And then let's see here. So this one here has a keyhole in it. I want to. Now, the shackle here will fit real nice. The piece from the shackle, and it gives room to turn. If you turn, this thing pops out a little bit. If you turn it back. Oh, I thought that was how you pulled it off. Oh, I do remember now. Yes, you got to get these pieces out too. So you get that like that, and then you push here. Now push this side out. Also, oops, these come out. And they are color coded to go with their corner. Meow. Okay, well, let's come back to this one. I might need a piece. This side slides down. So if you look at it here, this side slides down and pushes something out the bottom here, kind of like a tool. And then you can kind of see this panel starting to come off. I have a feeling maybe I'm doing it wrong. Let's see here. The magnet pulls that back in. So let's go ahead and get that out. Oh, there it goes. No? Okay. Let's see here. Now, I'm pretty sure the piece up here in the shackle is what I need to push these through. I think it comes... There it goes. Psh. And then this should do this and fall through. There we go. And now, when I turn the key... It's almost all the way out. Oh, there's a switch here. A piece in between the two. I forgot how to maneuver. There it goes. So that's the purple heart lock. All this stuff here is all parts of it. These parts go with this lock. This one here, I actually believe, I think goes with that. And then, yep, these go together with that. And, okay, we're all good. Okay, it's like this one. It's got a slider on the top of it. You just got to get it. I can't see it on the video while I'm doing it, but there we go. Slide it over and it made room. Okay, so we have the locks off the box. Proud of myself for that one. And as you can see here, the spires, the intersections of them come up, but only a little bit. But if you get them up just enough and tilt this thing forward, you'll get a coin that comes out from under the door. And it has clues. It's a clues coin. But it also shows you that this piece here is a key. There's a key symbol on this piece. And then on this one here, it shows the StickMan guy pointing his stick at the sun and the moon. Okay? So that is a clue to tell you to take the little StickMan guy. And remember the front of this thing with the symbols? Well, it just so happens that just wants to be on it really bad. So if you look at the coin, the moon is low and the sun is high. The moon is low, the sun is high. So let's start with the moon. So we turn it towards the moon, his arrow, and let's push it in, point it directly at the moon, and it'll go up an extra step. See? Now you have the ability to put the coin inside the back here and push down, and it'll slide right in there, and that'll become useful soon enough. I'm pretty sure that's how you get to lift up a little bit more. Or do we go down a little bit and then push it in? Yeah. Put that there. And now it goes up real far. And it kicks out the coin. At this point, you have the little StickMan guy showing up here as a clue with the sun logo. So you got to turn this around to the sun. But he really doesn't want to turn that way magnetically, right? So you got to come down just a little bit. Point him towards the sun. Then go up, and you can get all the way up. And you'll see that the gate here is above this door. And now it gives you clearance. So as this thing's been coming up the whole way as we've been pushing it up, this gate's been going up as well. So you got to separate that. There's like a magnetic wall here. There we go. We got it all the way to the right. And now, oh, I had it all the way to the right. And now, if you look on the bottom here, you'll see a little key. And all you got to do is turn it horizontally like that. And then this comes out. And I got a little note in here. Congrats. You solved it and is now a king. Woo. Okay. So we got in there. Very procedural. Very cool. Very themed, right? So this drawer right here popping out at the end is the finish. That's the finale. We've totally dissected the keep. And I wasn't going to reset on camera because I thought that'd be like mundane. But I'm going to share my thoughts, and I'm going to try to reset it while I'm on camera. I'm not fully expecting to be able to perfectly reset this on camera. It is a lot of stuff. But what do I think? I think this thing's pretty awesome. It was $950 from Rob himself, and it took about a year wait. And I don't know if this one had the lottery thing or if he just asked the people that last bought his last puzzle. I didn't get asked, so I think there was a lottery or something going on. But it's very thematic, very cool. The woodwork is very interesting. The only thing about the woodwork that threw me off is these like ridges here, because if you look at them from the side, they're solid. But if you look at it once it's all like in here, it almost looks like he had panels that didn't connect. That was the only thing that really threw me off with the woodwork. Honestly, handling this and now having a Dwemer myself, I've come around the side of realizing that Rob is a master woodworker. There's no confusion there. Very good at what he does. And like I said, he's like a Renaissance man. He just has a lot of different skills. You know, I can appreciate that. Let's see here. Now, oh, shit. Okay, well, there we go. Now, we want to pull this up just enough to get the coin back in. Like that, and then shut her down. And then once it's shut like this, you are back to start on the castle part. So you would then put your corners back in. This is purple. That's purple. You got to kind of sweep under and push them through. Pretty simple. Yellow heart for yellow heart. There. This one here is just brown, so. And this one here is white, so it goes with the creamy up here. And then this thing here goes right here on the face, which also locks in this so it doesn't move anymore. Then you'll want to put the StickMan logo here just back kind of in, and then kind of get, I could have done a better job. There we go. That one also pops out this piece here, so you can fix it pretty easily. Whoa. And now putting the locks back. Now I believe we need the tool to do this lock. So we have to do this lock last, I think. And then this thing here is a bit of a nightmare. So let's get this one back on. I don't think there's a certain order. Oh, I guess this could match the... I didn't even think of that. Had the thing so damn long I've forgotten how it started. Yeah, it's definitely an epic journey. There's definitely a lot to take in with this. If you're a fan of lock puzzles, it's kind of a no-brainer to have wanted one. It's just very clever. There was one sold on Puzzle Paradise almost immediately. One of the bigger designers, D, I think, Deadwood, he needed money to help his wife out buying a car or something. And he was selling some puzzles, and he sold his, and it went for $5,000. So everybody's calling this a $5,000 puzzle, but keep in mind that you could probably get a Beast Box for $5,000 to $8,000, and that's considered like one of the rarest ones, right? As far as this one here, just to lock it in place, you want to make sure that middle piece is there, is good. So this doesn't want to move down automatically on its own. Hear the clicking, yeah. And then let's see, brown for brown. This one we're putting in last, so we're not going to do that one. White for white here. So this one here is the one that pops out on one side. Of course, now that it's shut, there we go. Doing it off camera. Of course, I'm the best at what I do. Here we go. And let's see. Make sure this one didn't have special rules on it. Okay. Pop there, down. And now it's locked, and this gets this. Yay. And that's also on the front, so that's a nice little showy piece. Brown is last. And we'll do this one. This is actually way easier to reset than it is to solve. I believe it goes... It will only go in one way. Like, it won't let you go in the wrong way here. So that helps. That's good. And then remember that this was a sliding piece that actually has to clear these posts with this part right here. So when you stick it in, you got to do the slider on top to kind of get it in. And then once it's in like that, you got to get the key here. And do a turn and back to get it to fully close. And then we put this piece right here in the top. And then these two go in the sides just as stoppers. Way easier to reset than it is to solve this one. And then finally, on the brown one, sliding side here. That means the side that has the bar. And it has to go on with this. So we'll have this in here. And it goes down. It's kind of hard to see at this angle, but you do it at a different depth than the others. There it goes. And then that pops back, hangs down, and there you go. And a little view here. I don't like turning it sideways with the locks on. That is a keep lock puzzle. Now, about the auction. Look. I'm known as a bit of a hunter, and I've given up hunting puzzles pretty much because I've had all of the puzzles. I've either solved or touched pretty much everything that's already been made that I really have a strong interest in. Off the top of my head, I mean, there's puzzles that if I get an opportunity to get them or whatever, sure, like ring case. I got a ring case this week. It wasn't on my list of things to get, but when people looked at my collection shelf and said, "Hey, you don't have a lot of SDs," that's fair. That's like I said before. I don't like to follow other people's logic paths as much, so I'm not the biggest SD guy anymore. When you're buying Stickmans, you're gonna have to hunt one down, and every puzzle he comes out with is a retrospect on a certain aspect of puzzling itself. So when I went through his whole list and thought of everything that he had ever made, what was I going to hunt down to have like my personal Stickman puzzle? It was the Dwemer, because I'm a gamer. I already know about Elder Scrolls. That was familiar to me. I like taking things apart and building things. So this right here is perfect, because not only is it a 55-piece monster to take apart, build down, you also have to unlock all the mechanisms to actually get the access. And then when you're done with that and you've gotten into the box, you have another whole puzzle that you can design and build from here that exists. You just have to find it. So as a person who designs puzzles, likes to build stuff, tinker, things like that, that works out great. Plus, I imagine that this box will hold all the pieces really well once I get to that phase. How far am I on this puzzle? I know how to get this part off now, in the sense of I understand how it works. I've only gotten half of the work done to get this off the box. And then from there, it's taking it apart, learning how to rebuild it, then build a different version of it, all these things. So this should keep me busy. This one here cost me about $2,800, and that was with me publicly looking for one. So that was where people could kind of get me for the price that they wanted to, because I knew I wanted it, and still didn't go over $3,000. That's kind of the litmus with a lot of things. I mean, when you think about it, there's not a lot of puzzles that go over the whole $3,000 rate, not unless they started at that rate. So I don't believe, by just virtue of the nature of commerce, not because it doesn't deserve to be. Like, I know the person that paid $5,000 for a Keep Locked is happy because they've got money to spend like that, and they got what they wanted. Something that's probably not going to be that easy to access. It's just a long process for a lot of people to get to experience a puzzle, and but I don't think yet that it's a $5,000 puzzle. I think that it could easily be more than this one, because of its themes and the size. And honestly, when you're looking at it, when you look at a puzzle like this, you see 4 puzzles immediately. You see these locks, and you're like, oh, four different locks for me to solve that are Stickman wooden puzzle locks, like his, pirates, lock, or things like that. And, and then you find out that the castle itself has to be broken into. That's pretty impressive. Lots of different woods on this. You got your different wood styles and everything here as well. A lot of articulation to create this facades, make it look like it's brick awning going over the portcullis, to make these little meshes here for the doors. Who knows where he got these lion's heads from, so a lot of articulation. And yet 4 years ago, this one was still a higher retail to him, the person selling it, than this one was. And so you have to take those things into consideration. Like, this is a ton of wood. Like, this is bigger than the Keep Locked. It's also way heavier. But it's also because, look, I mean, you're talking about a walnut box here that's like this big, as a base just for all of this stuff on top. So when you go for a Stickman puzzle, and look, this one has a logo too. When you go for a Stickman puzzle, I think that a big part of the consideration would be, throwing money and access out the window. That's what I'm saying, because there's a lot of people with both that would buy some Stickmans that might not be happy, right? I'm a huge fan of packing puzzles, the mindlessness of it all, and trial and error of it. And I was actually kind of into Walter Wade at the time when I got the Edelweiss, but it wasn't the puzzle for me, really. I don't know. I expected more mechanism maybe from the box side of things. So like with this, I'm coming in knowing that it's all here, not down here, right? But then you can build a whole nother puzzle with it. So there's a whole different experience there. I give this one here an easy like 94. Like it's badass. Like there's going to be a lot of people that this will be the stick that they think is just for them. I have chatted them up in email. I was trying to get on the fall off list for this Keep Locked, and so I decided that it would be entertaining to talk to him only in Old English.